How can you tell the difference between withdrawal symptoms and a relapse of the original condition you took the drug for?
Yeah, so that is kind of the problem in a nutshell, right? It would be easier it'd be way easier if withdrawal symptoms were only like physical, new symptoms that has nothing to do with psychological disorders. But unfortunately they do. The overlap is so large that we need to figure out ways to differentiate between the two. And sometimes, just to get that out of the way, sometimes it's very easy. Like if you have flu-like symptoms, dizziness, pains, electric shock sensations, blurred vision, thoughts that you've never had before, emotional states that you've never had before, it'll be pretty easy for you to categorize it as withdrawal. So sometimes it's actually pretty, if you just dive a bit into it and analyze it, it's pretty easy to see. It's more difficult with the emotional stuff that may completely mimic what you got the drug for, or it may mimic a new condition. The first telltale sign would be if there are also new and unknown symptoms. They kind of give away for you that there is a withdrawal reaction going on. So even though they're unpleasant, of course, all the somatic physical symptoms, they have a function for you too, to help you categorize it as withdrawal instead of relapse. Whereas if there's only symptoms that you know from before, it can be more difficult to categorize mentally as withdrawal. So you'll have a harder time not ruminating, not worrying about it, not analyzing it. You'll have a harder time not dwelling on it. And it will be more difficult for you, likely, to leave them alone, and just leave them to heal, if they look more like the original condition. So these for you, previously unknown symptoms is the best indicator of withdrawal. Then the next is obviously, well, the ultimate way to find out is to wait, easy as it sounds, and get through it, because withdrawal is temporary. So whatever is withdrawal will heal, whereas relapse to an underlying condition, whatever that is, which is another subject, tends to not go away in the same time frame, which is also difficult actually, because the symptoms may last long. So where do we put maybe long lasting, so where do we put the threshold? So like the main indicator cannot be whether it passes quickly, because the symptoms may last for long, right? But this idea of them healing without you doing much about it tells you that it's withdrawal, because it's the body healing. And then there is this idea that if you resume the drug or the dose that you tapered from, and the symptoms pass, then it was withdrawal, and if they don't pass, then it wasn't withdrawal. That's not true, because necessarily. So it can definitely be withdrawal symptoms even though they don't respond to increasing the dose. That depends on how long you've been in it, how long the body has been in the withdrawal state. So there is this idea of a reinstatement window, you'd call it. So there is and we don't know where the limit is, but there definitely is a limit as to how long you've been waiting in severe withdrawal, not just mild or moderate, but we're talking severe withdrawal now. There's this idea of a window in which the body will accept you taking the drug again, if that makes sense. So if you've been in severe withdrawal for, say, 3 weeks, there's no certainty that the body will accept you reintroducing the drug. And that means that we can't use that as a criteria for whether something was withdrawal or not. Because there are definitely withdrawal symptoms. It's purely withdrawal, it's not a relapse, but if they've been there for too long without you acting and upping the dose, it's not permanent, obviously, it's just long-lasting. Why? So when reinstatement doesn't work, I think it's just because, well, it would have worked earlier, but like things have happened from the body being in withdrawal for so long, weeks or months, for example, that you know the damage has been done in these ones because it's not a damage, but stuff happened that doesn't just go away even though you introduce the drug again. But we don't know really, like we're on theoretical grounds. Research hasn't gone here yet.